Hey there, I've got some interesting things to share with you today, and you're going to really enjoy this. It's called Connect the Dots. We are learning how God speaks to each one of us individually because He has a plan for each one of us individually. But it's amazing how He has things so that you can understand it. And He speaks to you in that way. He can speak to me in a way that I can understand it, but the way that he does is he shows you by several different ways. He doesn't just show you one way. And it's like when he has his voices upon many waters. He's saying the same thing over and over and over again, but he says it in different ways as your things begin to, like, your puzzle pieces begin to come together. So what we're going to talk about is Isaiah 46, and I know I've been talking to y'all for the last couple of weeks from Isaiah. It's very important because we have to discern the times and the seasons that we're in. And so Isaiah 46 in the Amplified, it says, declaring the end and the result from the beginning, and from the ancient times, the things that were not yet done, and saying that my counsel shall stand, and I will do my pleasure and my purpose. And so I learned this years ago, and I don't know a whole lot about the Hebrew calendar and all of that, but I'm learning about it. And what I did learn was that God speaks from the end to the beginning. And even in the Hebrew calendar, I mean, um, the way they write from the right side to the left side because they're seeing the end of something, and then they go back to the beginning. So we can see that that's the way God sees. And so what he'll show us is usually the big picture or something at the very end of it. And just like he did with Joseph, I mentioned him so many times, he gave him a dream, and that was the end. That didn't happen for decades. And yet he went through one, two, three, four, five to get to there. And so God is speaking to us, and he's going to show us the end of some things. So then we start walking backwards. But now I got a surprise for you. And I know this this is going to be, it's gonna shock everybody, and it's gonna shock everybody here in the studio too, because I wanna talk about something. Barbara, will you put your hat back on? Come over here, and don't freak out. I just want Barbara to stick her head over here just so you can see. Just look over here and just get a little bit closer. I want you, this is Barbara, okay? And I'm gonna tell her in from the beginning. So, okay, thank you. She helps us here. She was a school teacher and a teacher of skiing, snow skiing for like 50 years. And so she decided to retire. But before she decided to retire, we met a long time ago, 20, 25 years ago, a long time ago. And she was in one of my schools. So she came to work for me and started helping me. And we were talking about, here we are here in the barn, where is our studio. And so the end, when she came over here, I asked her, I said, "Will you go over there?" I ended up moving, and anyway, it was a big mess. Boxes were all over the place. Everything was all over the place. I was trying to find everything. And so I said, "Barbara, would you go over there to the barn?" We call it the Red Barn. "Would you go over there at the barn and help me get my notes and so forth um, back in order?" Because she's amazing with organizational abilities, and she organizes libraries and so forth in schools. So we were just talking about this before we went on. Barbara walks in here and she was, yeah. There was boxes all over the place. There was one folding table in here, and she was like, "Oh my God, how are we going to do all this? How is it ever going to be?" But the end was, I said, "Barbara, we're going to take that barn and we're going to turn it into a TV studio." And she goes, "Oh, okay." So that was the end, and that was several years ago. So then we started working back toward the beginning. And when she mentioned that when we were here trying to get all the lights set up and all that stuff, I thought that this was just perfect with the scripture God had given me. We started connecting the dots. So as I looked at her and the giftings that she has, I knew she had the giftings of organization, and she had the giftings, like I said, of library and all of that that she had done with school all those many years. And so she started organize what we call the production room. And so I started there, and then we were working. Well, we didn't have any cameras. All we had was my iPhone. That was all we had. But we were working our way back to where we are right now. And so God began to what? Put the pieces together, connecting the dots. And then I would remember that's right. I remember years ago, God said, Ginger, build a communication platform. And I thought, well, I wonder what that is. I didn't even know what it was. I knew what churches and Bible schools and mission work and all that was, but I didn't know about social media. So we were working these parts coming together. Now look where we are right now. Look what we're doing. And so, but it was piece by piece. It wasn't something all of a sudden we saw the whole picture of it. And I remember hearing Kenneth Copeland talk about, I think it was in 1969, he said, or 67, when he was walking in that dry riverbed and the Lord spoke to him and started showing him things. And then later on in the 80s and the 90s, when his ministry had grown so big, he said, God didn't tell me all of the things I was going to be doing. He just showed me a big picture. And then he said, here it was here. And I was just walking in a dry riverbed. Think about it. And yet, boom, 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 walk all the way back to those years. How did he start? One piece at a time. And it was walking toward the vision that God showed him that many decades ago. Well, it's the same way with you. You're thinking, what's wrong with this? I can't find all the pieces to my puzzle. Somebody turned the puzzle board upside down. But God will help you if you'll just start making notes. And you go back and you say, Father, okay, I remember when you told me a long time ago. I remember in the 70s exactly verbatim what God told me out of Revelation 3, what we would be doing in ministry. But he didn't tell me every detail. He did tell me about 3 doors out of that Revelation 3, but that was a long time ago. And so we stepped it out. So what has God said to you? What is he showing you? Go back to when you were born again, go back to where when you got the baptism of the Holy Spirit, or when you felt like God showed you something or was dealing with your heart about maybe going into ministry, or maybe doing something in the way of business, or where when he put something in your heart that you knew it was God, you knew it was, and now you saw the big picture, but none of these steps really made too much sense. But if you keep connecting the dots, you will see how this works together, and he starts connecting people, he starts connecting situations, he starts bringing circumstances into your life, and sometimes the circumstances are not happy ones, just like with Joseph. I don't think he was overly joyed about his family throwing him in a pit. Okay. But somehow God could take that. He said at the end, you meant it for my evil, but God meant it for my good. So even though we might be stepping through some difficult situations, we can take that and say, Father, teach me something out of this. Help me learn because I'm still stepping in that direction. And you start connecting the dots. God will start connecting you, maybe having you move. We ended up moving from one location in Texas to another location, and that started another whole phase of our lives. And then we moved from that location to another one. I'm not saying that y'all have to move. I'm just saying look back and see. And it's so clear when you look back and you go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. But what I want to share with you is this is amazing. This is very important in you connecting dots. Keep the words that God has given you, but also connect people and circumstances, locations to those particular steps that you've taken through these years. One of the things I've learned is just to be faithful, to be honest, to be doing the best you can. What if you're doing something and it's just like, man, you can't find how to tie a knot in it? It's not working. Just keep doing what you're doing. I learned that from Kenneth Hagin Sr. in 1971. He said, just keep doing what you're doing, but do it faithfully, do it right, do it honest. Don't be half doing what you're doing. I mean, you should be diligent. I should be diligent. Everything that we're doing, keeping our word, doing whatever. If they ask us to walk a mile, let's go ahead and walk 2 miles. As you keep doing that, God, he is moving you along and you're maturing emotionally. You're maturing in you're learning things like how to do this or how to do that, and you didn't know how to do it before. I'll tell you another one, connect the dots. While John, my husband, he's with the Lord now, but when he was going to Bible school, they gave him a little job and he was duplicating tapes. And he thought, what in the world am I doing this for? I don't even have a clue what's going on. He started doing that and he started doing other things. Well, I was also working for a Bible school and I didn't even understand why I was doing it except putting food on the table for the kids. But as it turned out, step by step by step. So when we launched into ministry by actually starting a Bible school. And we had gained the knowledge over here, never thinking we would do anything like that, thinking, oh, we're going to go start a church probably, or we're going to be pastors or something. But God had a completely different, but we were faithful in what we were doing. That's what I'm trying to say. And being faithful and being diligent and hanging on to that, God will start showing you and revealing to you. This is a season we've got to know right now. He showed you the end. What was the end that he showed you? What if it was 10 years ago? What if it was 25 years ago? What if it was 30 or 40 years ago? Hold on to that end, because as you hold on to that and you're diligent to step through these things, then I now this is what I've learned. Y'all might not agree with me. I think you're going to agree with me. I think one of the things that I've learned in ministry these 44 years, one of the zillions of things I've learned in ministry, one of the things is my relationship with the Lord is that I could carry someone else's vision when I was working for them and I was working for them, and I could put my whole heart in it. Everything that I had was in it, knowing one day, someday, way down the road, that day would come, that one day God would entrust me with my own ministry. But until then, you know what it says in Luke, if you can't be faithful in what belongs to another man, then God is not going to give you what that is true to you. And so that's the one thing I learned, how to stay focused and helping other people. And even when you have your own ministry or you have your own business or you have your own church or whatever, you're still being faithful to help other people. You want to help other people with their vision. That's exactly what happened in the story of Joseph. There he was, 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine. He was successfully helping all of Egypt, all the known world at that time, but he also was able to help his family in what he was doing because he was diligent no matter where he was. When he was in the pit, when he was in Potiphar's house, when he was in prison, he was diligent, and helping. What did he do when he was in prison? He was helping the prison people. I mean, think about what we're talking about. He wasn't helping Pharaoh. He was helping the prison system go on. And so if you learn to do that and you think, well, there's a bigger vision, he held on to the dream that God had put in his heart. And I just want to encourage you. I know sometimes you get so discouraged. I've gotten so discouraged sometimes I didn't know what to do but cry. And so, but don't let the enemy do that to you. Just say, no, I know what God showed me, but be faithful in what God has put your hand to do right then. Be faithful in whatever He's asked you to do. Do it to the best of your ability. Just keep on. It is going to happen, but it might be 10 or 20 or 30 years. And he told 𝗬𝗓𝗏 this. I remember hearing him. You should read about these great men of God in the other decades they're wonderful. They did wonderful works. And fact, 𝗬𝗓𝗏's ministry is still doing wonderful works. He said when he was 19 was when he started preaching. And so he got around, I think he was 62 or something like that. And then he said, Lord, what do I need to do about getting ready to prepare? And this is what he said the Lord told him. He said, prepare for retiring. What are you talking about? He said, you will do more in your last years of life than you did in all those former years. Isn't that interesting? And so he lived till he was 85 years old. He traveled hundreds of thousands of miles every year. He went all over the place. God took care of him, took care of his family. Look at his ministry still going, still a blessing Samaritan purse. I mean, think about what they're doing. But In the beginning, he thought he was doing all kinds of stuff. He cast out devils and people got healed and all. He went all over the world. But in his latter days, so I'm just telling you, I'm not telling you you're going to have to be 60 or 70 or 80 or whatever to get to do anything for God. But I'm telling you, don't let the enemy hold you back by saying it hasn't happened yet. Connect the dots, stay faithful, keep that vision in front of you, and keep doing what you're doing and be faithful, faithful, faithful. Be diligent, diligent, diligent. And you'll see one day God will open this door, this door, this, and He will start connecting you with the right people at the right time, doing the right thing. And you're just going to be so encouraged, but you're going to have to write these dots down. You're going to have to see how they connect with each other. Anyway, I thought that would encourage you today. A bunch of you are trying to figure out what you're going to do tomorrow. Well, be faithful today, and then you hold on to that vision, that dream that's in your heart, just like it says right here, declaring the end. Start declaring the end. You don't have to tell people. You don't have to tell others. You and God get together and say, Father, this is what I think you told me. And help me to know how to declare it, to pray it out, to be able to see better, to be able to walk and navigate. I love the navigating anointing, to be able to navigate through all the pitfalls of life and everything else I have to go through. Because what I want to do is I want you to say to me, well done, thy good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of the Lord. All right. God bless you. And I'm hoping that you are sharing these things with other people. If there's any tidbit or any little thing that I've said that might be of an encouragement to someone else, would you please share it? And would you let me know? Share it with me. I'd like to know about it. Would you like email me? Make sure that you get on our email list. And we're doing the prophetic prayer once a month. We're doing different things. We're going to start some other things, some brand new things that are coming up in the future. And so thank you for praying for me, and thank you for helping us out financially. I'm so grateful for that. But more than anything, I'm grateful for your prayers and your little notes that you send me. Well, God bless you. I'll see you next time.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to announce the next generation of energy drinks, 𝗦𝗢𝗢𝗦𝗢𝗢. It has no sugar and no caffeine. Instead, 𝗦𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗦 uses 𝗩𝗑𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢. 𝗩𝗑𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 is one of the body's primary ketones, and it provides the most efficient and clean fuel that your body needs. It also helps you stay energized all day with no crashes. Not only that, it produces 3 times more brain energy than sugar, which helps boost your memory, focus, and mental sharpness. It also helps reduce stress and helps balance your mood. 𝗦𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 does all that while being the best tasting energy drink ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% today. I'm so sure you're going to love 𝗦𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢. For a limited time, you get our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. I drink 𝗦𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢 every day, and I absolutely love it, and so will you.